Hello and welcome out to Montgomery Field in beautiful Salina, Ohio, the location for today's matchup between the Lima Locos and your Grand Lake Mariners. I'm Donovan Mann, the voice of the Grand Lake Mariners, getting ready to bring you all the play-by-play here on what is a very hot and humid Sunday afternoon, scheduled of course time around 4:35, first pitch. Lima Locos were in town yesterday when the Mariners fell to them 7-3. It was a game of back and forth. The Mariners jumped out quickly, and then the Locos jumped out quickly. And whenever the Mariners tried to respond, there would be a rebuttal. And it was a back and forth affair from about the fifth inning on. The final score of that one was 7-3. It's a new day, and the Mariners will be trying to get back to 500. They currently sit 15-16 on the year. The Locos come in 19-11 and are half a game back from the division lead. And as it continues to go, the coaches have their meeting on the mound. Still plenty of time left to come back in this one. About 11 games left in the season, including today. There are only 2 games out of that final playoff spot in third place for the Northern Division, which is currently held by the Saginaw Sugar Beets. I'll talk about the starting lineups and bring you the play-by-play and the national anthem when I return, but before that, I will step aside. Thank you for listening to Mariners Baseball live on the Mariners Media Network. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a great country with hot weather. At this point in time, would you please rise and remove your caps for today's singing of our national anthem. Today, our singer is going to be Rachel Worling. She'll be a 10th grader at nearby St. Henry High School. She's the daughter of Mike and Julie Worling. Rachel has performed in Ohio Has Talent and many plays in the surrounding areas. She's very active in her church, loves to sing, play the piano, the cello, write and read. It's my honor to give the microphone over to Rachel Worling for today's singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ardor, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the brave?
And there was the singing, and a beautiful singing of the national anthem here live at Montgomery Field in Salina, Ohio. Mariners getting ready to take on the Lima Locos here in a Northern Division matchup and a rivalry matchup, and also a rematch of last year's championship series. Mariners fell 1 win short of winning the Grand Lake Summer League Championship last season. They were able to walk out and steal the first game in Lima, but then they lost the last 2 games in that series. Let's go ahead and start and talk about those starting lineups. First, for the Lima Locos, it'll be Cade Beloso leading off. Playing first base, Michael Diffley, the center fielder, will be batting second. Batting third will be Tyler Anshaw, the third baseman. Cleanup will be Brad Croy. Out in left field today, it'll be John Privatera, the second baseman. Batting fifth, batting sixth will be Tyler Simon, the shortstop. Jackson Shirley, the right fielder, batting 7th. 8th will be Christian Waltman, the catcher. And then Nathan Fancher, the designated hitter, will be bringing up the 9 spot. Starting pitcher on the mound here today for your Grand Lake Mariners, it'll be Tommy Seamer, the righty, getting his 2nd start and 8th total appearance of the season. He wears number 6. He is 1-0 on the season for the Mariners thus far. With a 7.61 ERA, he's pitched 13 innings. He's had 9 extra base hits, which allows 9 extra base hits, which includes 1 home run. He's punched out 7 batters while walked 6. The man from Liberty Township, Ohio, attends Bluffton College, where he'll be entering his junior season. Also, he's out of Lakota East High School over in Liberty Township. He steps on the mound with his rest of his team. Mariners will be in their home whites with the blue and green stripes, goes from about their middle of their upper body all the way down to the bottom of the jersey. Blue hats with the green bill and green logo, white pants, and blue socks. Locos will be back in their blue and orange jerseys. It's primarily blue with an orange stripe right in the middle of it going horizontally. And it'll be orange lettering as well. Set that defense now here behind Tommy Seamer. It will be Stephen Fitzsimmons out in left, R.J. Williams out in center. In right, it'll be Mackenzie Hicks. On third base, it'll be Justin Diaz. Blake Crossan playing shortstop here today. Van Acker will be on second. McCall at first, and Hayes doing the catching. Here comes Cade Beloso. Beloso gets his first pitch. It's high, ball 1. First pitch to Beloso is ball 1. Go ahead and get you the weather here. The sun is kind of peeking around the clouds. Not a lot of thick cloudage, no rain expected. Here's this one is high again to Beloso. Ball 2, 2-0. Currently 87 degrees here in Salina, Ohio. Feels like 93 on the heat index with a slight breeze out of the south at 5 miles per hour and a 57% humidity. Here comes the next pitch to Beloso. This one does catch the zone on the high part. After he walked the first pitch way high, the second one came lower, and the third one finally finds the zone. 2-1 now the count to Beloso, who comes in hitting .330 with a .420 on-base percentage. He takes high and inside on the corner, though. It's called ball strike 2. Now the count evens up at 2-2 to Beloso. The man from Riverdale, Louisiana, and he will be attending Louisiana State, or LSU, this coming fall. He foul tips this one off his shoe. Kind of walks off the paint as that one might sting just a little bit. It was a direct line right back down to his right foot. Count holds at 2-2 to the leadoff man. Beloso has yet to play a single inning of college ball. However, for his high school this past season out in Louisiana, he was the Louisiana Gatorade State Player of the Year. He's got a 2-2 count here to Tommy Seamer. There's a new rule in the Collegiate Summer League where you were allowed to add in at least 2 high school players. This one's fouled off towards the third base dugout, just clips the screen and doesn't leave the park. Yesterday, Beloso against the Mariners, he had 1 hit in 5 attempts. He was 1 for 5. He popped ground and struck out as well. A nice curveball just missing the zone. And count now runs full. And that was a great pitch by Seamer. But it goes to ball 3. And now the count full at 3-2. Here comes the payoff pitch. It'll be fouled towards the first base dugout. That was a rocket roller, as it went right to the fence that protects the players in the Mariners dugout here below me on the first base line. As always, I'm right down the first base line, about halfway or so between the home plate and the first base bag. Here comes the pitch. It's a high fly. Will not leave the infield, though, as Crossan calls for it. He gets underneath it, makes the catch, and Beloso is retired. A long at-bat leading to a rather anticlimactic ending. Beloso fought off pitch after pitch, got the count full, but Crossan was able to get the benefactor there on the other side of the pop-up. Then I'll bring up Michael Diffley, the center fielder, stepping in here for his first at-bat of the day in the top of the first. Seamer will gather the grip, and the first pitch. High, ball 1. Fort Diffley, wearing number 29 from Cholula Vista, California. He attends Arizona Christian. Here comes the second pitch to him. It's a little bit outside, away from the glove of Tyson Hayes. Quickly, the count goes 2-0. to Diffley. Diffley hits .352 with a .465 on-base percentage. That is on the season. 2-0 pitch now delivered. It'll be right there on the high part of the zone. Strike one. 2-1. Diffley was out in left yesterday. He was officially 1 for 4, but he also reached on an error his first time up. He also drew a walk and a single. Seamer gathers the 2-1 pitch. With 1 out, nobody aboard. That's high and inside. Limboing out of the way will be Diffley. Count now 3-1. Seamer not used to starting, so we'll keep an eye, though, on how deep he goes into this game. Pitching staff is kind of running a little thin. Bear Bellamy was the scheduled starter for today. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. It's a high pop into foul territory on the first base side, and it will just get out of play. In fact, I believe it bangs off the top of the press box here. Count now full at 3-2. As I was saying, Bellamy was supposed to be the starting pitcher here today. The last game before the All-Star break, he says he's feeling some upper arm soreness or some tightness in his upper arm. So he decided not to come as he stays in Dayton, except for the days he starts. He comes out to Salina. And this one will be a line driver out to center field coming in, or right field actually. Coming in will be Mackenzie Hicks to make the catch. And that will retire Diffley. There's now 2 away. Nobody aboard. 2 up, 2 down. Tyler Anshaw, the third baseman, now steps on. Tyler Anshaw just listed as kind of a utility player, or on Point Streak and online on the Great Lakes Summer League website, he's just listed as an other kind of player. He does a little bit of everything. He plays the infield, plays the outfield, and catches. He's actually been named an All-Star as he takes first pitch in there for strike one. With a .250 batting average and a .328 on-base percentage, he's from Point St. Lucie, Florida. He attends Campbell University. He fouls this one right off to the screen. He kind of spun all the way around on that foul off there. Count now quickly 0-2, and for the first time here today, Seamer is out front of a batter. That's on the first 3 anyway. And Shaw steps back in. And the 0-2 pitch will be a high popper right out into center field. Coming in will be R.J. Williams. He will make the catch, and the side is retired. They go in order for the Lima Locos in the top of the first. Mariners will try to jump out first in the bottom half of this inning. Don't go anywhere. We're all tied at nothing. This is Mariners Baseball live at the Mariners Media Network. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. So your starting lineup for the Mariners will look like this here home today, live from Montgomery Field. It'll be Blake Crossing, the shortstop, followed up by Van Acker, the second baseman, Jake McCall, first baseman, batting third. Designated hitter Evan Spry will be batting cleanup. Fifth will be Tyson Hayes, the catcher, Stephen Fitzsimmons, left fielder, batting sixth. Mackenzie Hicks, the right fielder, batting seventh. Eighth will be Justin Diaz, the third baseman, and R.J. Williams will be in the 9-hole, playing center fielder here today. Bryson Finney will be the man on the mound here to start today. The left-handed pitcher getting his second start and 9th total appearance. He is 0-1 for the Locos. He's .284 ERA he's only pitched 1 inning according to this. That has to be a typo. I'll correct that if I have to. But according to this, he's only pitched 1 inning. I doubt that in 9 appearances now. Anyway, he has struck out 13 batters, walked 5. Here comes the first pitch to Crossing. The switch-hitting man out of Dartmouth will be batting right, of course, against the lefty. He fouls it off past the first base dugout and out of play. Blake Crossing steps back in. He'll take high, ball 1. 1-1, the count evens up to Crossing. The shortstop for the day. Here's the defense now here behind Finney. Brad Croy will be out in left. RJ will foul this, or correction, Blake Crossing will foul this one off. Again, the count goes 1-2. Michael Diffley will be in center fielder. It'll be Shirley out in right. Tyler Anshaw on third base. Tyler Simon on shortstop. Privatero will be the second baseman for the day. Fouled off here by Crossing. The count will hold at 1-2. Gade Beloso, the first baseman, and Waltman, Christian Waltman, will be doing the catching. Count 1-2 here to Crossing. Man comes into the day hitting 300 as he hits this one sky high out into left field. In comes the left fielder, and Croy makes the catch, and Crossing is retired. 4 up, 4 down so far in this game. 3 up and 3 down in the top. 1 up, 1 down so far in the bottom of the first. Van Acker, the right-handed batter, second baseman for the day, will step in, getting a chance at the top of the lineup now, kind of breaking up the lefties and righties here with this one. There was a last-second lineup change for the Mariners, trying to get more righties in there. Acker takes ball 1. He'll take call to strike 1 there now. Count evens up 1-1 on the outside part of the plate. That one nailed. But for Acker, he hits 204 with a .338 on base percentage. He takes outside ball 2, 2-1 now the count. 1 out, nobody aboard. He attends Alma College, and his hometown is Eaton Rapids, Michigan. He attended Eaton Rapids High School. Acker checks his swing, gets called right there on the outside corner at the knees. Count goes quickly now, 2-2 to Acker. Van had the day off yesterday. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, chasing the high heater. First strikeout of the game for either side. Acker is retired. 2 up, 2 down for the Mariners now in the bottom of the first. Jake McCaw, the first baseman today, will step in. He played third yesterday. Committed an error. He's been a lot better defensively on the first base side than at third base. He commits more errors on the third base side. He'll take ball 1 there. I tell you what, Finney really likes to work the tempo. So he doesn't take a lot of time to set. He gets his pitch rather quickly and delivers. Count goes quickly 2-0. And the catcher gets the ball right back to him quickly. Here we go. He steps on, looks in. He will step and deliver. Count now goes 2-1 as that one's fouled off by McCall. Ball thrown out to Finney. He'll step on the rubber. Puts the grip in his glove. Now he actually takes a pause before delivering the 2-1 pitch. McCall takes high, ball 3. 3-1 to McCall. Man comes in, hitting .289 with a .464 on-base percentage. He's from Bloomington, Illinois. Attends Illinois State. 3-1 pitch. It'll be grounded right back to Finney, the pitcher, thrown over to first, and the side is retired. 1-3 the play there, and the Mariners go in order. 3 up, 3 down. We'll now head to the top of the second. Still tied at no score apiece. Thank you for listening to Mariners Baseball live on the Mariners Media Network. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. At the top of the second inning, we are now going to see the Lima Locos 4, 5, and 6 hitters, starting with Brad Croy at the left fielder. Tommy Seamer comes back out onto the mound. There is no score here at Montgomery Field yet. Hello, Donovan Mann, the voice of the Mariners, bringing you some more play-by-play here. And game 4 of 6 between the Lima Locos this season. Croy takes there on the curveball. It's called strike 1. Brad Croy, the man from Bowling Green State University, His hometown is Glendorf, Ohio. He's also a pitcher. He has to duck out of the way of that one. That one was really high and inside, and a lot of guys limbo out of that one. If he had limboed, he probably would have taken one right to the neck. So he ducks instead. Count goes 1-1. Here comes Seymour's next pitch. Called strike 2 right there on the high corner on the outside part of the plate. Count goes 1-2 quickly to Croy, who hits .411 with a .494. He's listed as a pitcher as he line drives this one out to center. R.J. Williams, his college teammate, comes over, struggles with it. Here comes the throw. Croy twisted his ankle there. He is hobbling. He rounded second and tried to hold up, and when he tried to go back to first, he twisted his ankle. He is hobbling, and now he is down. He quickly tried to round first, and R.J. Williams bobbled that one out in center field, tried to throw it in. Croy held up, and Croy now is in a bit of pain. He is listed as a pitcher, and his primary position is technically a pitcher for both Bowling Green State University and the Lima Locos. He's only, though, had one appearance all season. That was out of the bullpen. He's technically an all-star where he's also listed as a pitcher, but obviously it's for his bat where he hits .411 with a .494 on-base percentage. And he's standing under his own power, still limping, and I got to imagine this might be the game for him. And we probably won't see him in the All-Star game either, because he's still limping. I mean, he came around the bag in a hurry, but when he cut back, he twisted his ankle, and the day is done for Brad Croy. Is coming in to pinch run for him is number 1, Mark Castablanco, and I got to imagine that'll be a defensive change too. So Brad Croy leads it off with a single, and that will be all for him. That was painful to watch. So, with nobody out, the first hit of the game comes by Brad Croy. He is out of the game, though, with a twisted ankle. Get more information on that one as he gets treatment from the trainer here. That brings now John Privatera, the second baseman. He'll step in now here. Where's number 3? He's from Lee Summits, Missouri. He attends Missouri State, entering his junior year. He hits .321 with a .404 on base percentage. Here's the throwback to first. Not in time as Castablanco slides back in. Castablanco with 6 stolen bases on the season. Could be a threat to run. Here's the first pitch. It's high. Outside, ball 1 to Privatera. Left-handed batter. Again, hits .321 with a .404 on base percentage. Tries to get things continued here after the Brad Croy single. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. This is inside and actually struck Privatera right there on the thigh. So he'll take his base. And back-to-back base runners for the Locos to lead off the top of the second. That'll bring up Tyler Simon, shortstop. Simon did not appear yesterday. He hits .250 with a .363 on base percentage. He's from Albany, Georgia, and he attends Kenshaw. But he's a pre-medicine major. He now steps in. He bats right here against the righty Seymour. Shows bunt. It's a successful bunt down the third base line. Seymour picks it up, throws over to first. The throw will not be in time, and they are loaded with nobody out. Tyler Simon gets himself a nice bunt there, and with his speed, he runs down the line. And so, all aboard for the Locos. And, of course, that's Locos as in locomotives and not as in psychotic or insane. So with nobody out, bases loaded, Seymour's got himself a jam to work through now as Jackson Shirley, the right fielder, steps in batting right. First pitch. Right there on the outside corner at the knees. It's called strike 1. Good pitch there by Seymour, who now checks in. Jackson Shirley hits .261 with a .333 on-base percentage. Also 8 RBIs. This one's off his bat, and he's just out in front of that one as it rolls foul down the third baseline. I mean, just out in front of that one. It just goes foul, but he's now down to the hole, 0-2. Best thing for Seymour here would be to strike out Shirley and then try to get Christian Waltman, who's on deck, to ground into a double play. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's inside, and it actually did end up grazing Shirley, so the hit by pitch brings in a run. That's the second batter to be hit by a pitch. Matches 2 singles in this inning, and rather easily, They score the first run of the game for the Lima Locos, as coming across will be Mark Castablanco to score. John Privatera, Tyler Simon, and Jackson Shirley are the men on the bags going from third to first. Christian Waltman now steps in. He's the catcher for the day. He swings and taps the first one back, foul. 0-1 to Waltman, who hits 143 with a 205 on-base percentage from Simus, Alabama. He attends the University of Alabama of Birmingham, or UAB. First pitch on the 0-1 pitch. This one's inside, behind Christian Waltman, and he actually did avoid it. That one went right at his knee level behind, and somehow he managed to avoid it, but it was behind him. 1-1 count, Seamer to Waltman. High, ball 2, 2-1. At least that one was in front of Waltman. This has been a problem for Seamer, is his inability to throw consistent strikes. Consistently, he has been inconsistent, really, is what I should say. A big swing and miss there. Waltman chases a high heater. The count now evens up at 2-2. Still nobody out, and the bases are loaded, 1-0. Locos lead via the hit by pitch from Jackson Shirley. Or that was on Jackson Shirley, I should say. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's a high pop-up, and it'll go into foul territory. Spry makes the catch on the first base side, and there's one away. Correction is Jake McCall on first base here today. Spry was on first base yesterday. So it's a pop foul fly. Waltman is retired, and now perhaps Nathan Fancher, who steps in, the designated hitter. The Mariners can get him to ground into a double play and limit the damage to just one. Base is still loaded with only one out. Fancher, the left-handed batter, wears number 25, hits 167 with a 242 on-base percentage. First pitch to him is high, ball 1. Fancher is from Kenshaw, Georgia. He attends East Georgia. He just finished his freshman season this past spring, correction. 2-0 count as this one's high and inside. For an Ohio man, there is really no such thing as spring. It really just goes from winter to summer, with maybe you'll be lucky and get a week of spring. So when I said winter, I probably meant winter because that's what I'm used to. This one will be on the inside corner right there at the knees to Fancher. Count goes 2-1. And it is a hot summer day here against 87 around the first pitch. Feels like 93 on the heat index because it is really humid in Salina, Ohio. This one could be trouble. It's deep out to the left field wall. And on a running play, Steven Fitzsimmons will go in and make the catch running into the fence. The run will come from third and score. So John Privatera will cross the plate. It's now 2-0 on the sacrifice RBI fly. But man, Steven Fitzsimmons kept at least 2 off the board there with that great running defensive catch back there. Now Cade Veloso steps in. He is 0 for 1 on the day, popped out to the shortstop after a long at-bat with Blake Crossing. He steps in for his second at-bat. Again, Veloso yesterday was actually 1 for 5, got a single in his first at-bat, and then went out in every other different way imaginable after that. He's 1 for 6 on the series. He fouls that one back to the screen, 0-1. Again, I did mention he's actually yet to play in college, so technically he's just finished his senior year of high school. Does not look like a high schooler, though. There's a lot of meat on his bones. He's got a lot of build to him as he looks at a high one there, 1-1. He steps back in. 1-1 pitch. High and outside, ball 2, 2-1. Seamer has to take some time here to think about this, just try to get out of this second inning. Gotta wonder, though. It's, again, not normally a starter. We'll see how long the Mariners go with him. He's trying to get through his second inning of work. 2 outs now. Here's the 1-2-1 pitch. It's now 3-1, and once again, it's high and outside. 3-1 the count now here. Reminder, there is a runner on second and first. On first, it is Jackson Shirley. On third, it is Tyler Simon. Correction, second, it's Tyler Simon. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Veloso pops this one sky high. Coming over is Tommy Seamer in foul territory. He'll watch it get out of play. Or correction, he'll watch as Jake McCall comes underneath this one to make the catch. And the second time that Peloso has popped one sky high, but it's been an infielder able to get to it. We now head to the bottom half of the second inning. Mariners down 2-0 after Lima was able to get 2 to cross the plate on 2 hits. There were 2 men left aboard and no errors. Thank you for listening to Mariners Baseball live on the Mariners Media Network. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back for the bottom half of the second inning. So we return now to the bottom half of the second. Mariners down 2-0 at home here to the Lima Locos. If they can beat the Locos here today, they do give themselves still a chance to tie the Locos in the season series. But the Mariners are currently 3-0 against the Locos are currently 3-0 against the Mariners on the season. As Spry will pop this one foul, and getting underneath it will be the third baseman and Anshaw. And so Spry is retired on 1 pitch. He popped it foul to the third baseman. That will now bring up Tyson Hayes, the catcher, getting his first at-bat here of the game and of the series. Hayes stepping in, hitting .281 with a .349 on-base percentage. From Aurora, Colorado, he attends Illinois State as he takes inside at the knees, strike 1. Count goes 0-1 here quickly. 1 out, nobody aboard for Hayes. 2-0, Locos leading. Hayes cuts and misses on that one there. Count quickly goes 0-2. It's not like Finney is throwing anything super hard either. Everything has been basically the same pitch. It's been the same speed too, relatively, as Hayes fouls that one off. And he works really quickly. He gets the ball, he steps on the rubber. He actually waits more for the batter to get on instead of getting his pitch. See, as soon as Hayes stepped in, Finney was ready to throw. Count continues to hold it 0-2 as Hayes fouls off of back-to-back pitches. Hayes steps in, gets ready, and then Finney nods and throws. Swung on and missed. It'll actually be foul tipped into the glove. Either way, Hayes is retired. And now 2 up, 2 down, and relatively easy for Finney. As we now bring in Steven Fitzsimmons, the left fielder. He'll be a left-handed batter stepping in. Where's number 11? From Golden Valley, Minnesota, attends Valparaiso, where he just finished his sophomore season. Hits .159 with a .328 on-base percentage. He'll be going up against Finney for the first time here today. First pitch to him. It's a liner on the bounce right to the mound. Here comes the throw into home, and Fitzsimmons with a diving play actually ends up not getting in time. It looked really close, but they will rule that 4-3. The ground out it goes, and so the Mariners are actually going to get Hacker in trouble here, the head coach for the Mariners, because the entire Mariners dugout is calling that the umpire did not, and so the coach and the umpire are going to continue to have a conversation here. And now here comes the assistant coach, Nico Buinteo. But either way, he's called out. And we will head to the top of the third. Mariners trailing 2-0. Thank you for listening to Mariners Baseball on the Mariners Media Network. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Tommy Seymour returns to the mound here for the top of the third. For the Lima Locos, it will be their 2, 3, 4 hitters due up. Michael Diffley, Tyler Anshaw, and what I would assume would be Mark Castablanco after Brad Croy on his first at-bat, as he rounded first, twisted his ankle, and he was replaced by Castablanco on the bags. But Seymour now steps in. That call where Stephen Fitzsimmons absolutely threw himself into first base to try to be safe, it did really look like he was safe, and the Mariners do have a benefit of the argument, but for some reason, umpires on the bags have not been their friend in this series. Perhaps defending champions do get a little bit of a benefit of a doubt. Count 0-1 here to Diffley, who checks swings on the low bouncer there. Count goes 1-1 now to him. It was a close play, none the doubt, and nonetheless, and now here low and outside, 2-1. But just like the call where the first man at first base on the umpire side called Chris Myers out on a barely even a twitch when he was at bat. Here comes a high fly ball out to left. Fitzsimmons comes over, makes the catch in left center. One is retired. If you're not sure what I'm recalling, yesterday in the bottom of the 9th inning, Mariners trying to start a comeback. Stephen Fitzsimmons was called out on a strike 3 check swing. He barely moved on it. No way did he ever break the plane. But the catcher appealed to the umpire down on the first base line, and he called him out. And that was after 3 Lima Locos batters were called safe on very, very blunt, very clear they had gone around plays. But that is what it is. That's taken for ball 1 by Tyler Anshaw, 0 for 1 on a fly out to center, his last time up. 2-0 now here to Anshaw. That one's a very high and actually goes all the way to the backstop past the glove of Hayes. 2-0, quickly the count here. 1 out, nobody aboard. Anshaw, the man batting left here against Tommy Seymour. 2-0, Locos leading. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. It's a high popper here. Out into shallow left. Out goes Blake Crossing. Calls for it, makes the catch. And they're 2 up, 2 down. And that'll bring up Mark Castablanco will come in now. He also went out in left field, by the way, defensively. Forgot to mention that. So he steps in, getting his first at-bat here today after Brad Croy went 1 for 1 but twisted his ankle rounding first. Castablanco wears number 1. He's from Clarendon, Texas. He attends Clarendon College. He hits .254 with a .370 on base percentage. He takes high, ball 1. Castablanco, a short dude at 5'8". They've got a couple of guys at 5'8". John Privatera, the other one. As this one is a hopper right over to Acker, the second baseman. And on the second pitch there, Castablanco is retired. 4-3 the play there. They go in order for the Lima Locos, but they still lead 2-0. Well to the bottom half of the third, and for the Mariners, it'll be Mackenzie Hicks, Justin Diaz, and R.J. Williams due up. Thank you for listening to Mariners Baseball live on the Mariners Media Network. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Finney comes back out onto the mound. That is Bryson Finney, the left-handed pitcher starter. He's gone through 3 innings, and he has gone, or correction, this will be his 3rd inning. He's gone through 2, and it's been 6 up, 6 down. Kenzie Hicks, the 7th batter of the day, to face him here in the bottom half of the 3rd. Mariners trailing 2-0 here. They've yet to record their first base hit, while their opponent has scored 2 runs on those 2 hits they've gotten already. But again, I was talking about Finney. He doesn't really throw hard. He doesn't throw more than just that one pitch. Here comes the first pitch just on the inside part of the zone at the belt to Hicks. Count goes 0-1 to Mackenzie Hicks. Mackenzie Hicks comes into today. Here comes the next pitch to him. It's a high pop-up here. Will just go very shallow into foul territory. Coming over is the first baseman. And Beloso, he'll cradle it. And there's 1 away. So for the Mariners today, it's been 7 up and 7 down so far. I'll now bring up Justin Diaz, the third baseman. He'll step in for the first time here today. Whereas number 41, he's from Chicago, Illinois. Attends Illinois State, where he hits, and he's hitting 327 with a 469 on base percentage. He steps in for his first at bat on the day and of the series. First pitch to him is right there on the inside part of the zone, catching strike one, 0-1. Correction, Diaz did play second base yesterday as well. He was 1 for 3 yesterday. He hits this one into right field. It will be a base hit. And so the first base hit of the day for the Mariners comes from the 8-hitter and Justin Diaz, who's really been swinging the bat well lately. Yesterday, again, he had actually 2 singles, so he was actually 2 for 3 yesterday. He was hit by a pitch on his single in the 7th. He reached second via the error, and now he's got his third base hit of the series. He's been swinging it really well as of late. Now R.J. Williams, the 9-hitter and center fielder, steps in. R.J. Williams hits 175 with a 313 on-base percentage. Shows bunt, but does go around. I think he actually just got a piece of it. Count goes 0-1. For RJ, he attends Bowling Green State University, and he's out of Pickerington, Ohio. He'll be entering his senior season at Bowling Green. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to him. He checks his swing. It's high. Does not go around. Count goes 1-1. 1 out, runner on first. Williams steps back in. It's a lefty-lefty matchup, by the way. Williams rockets this one, but diving play by the shortstop, but he cannot get to it, and it'll roll into left field. Just got past the glove of Tyler Simon, so back-to-back singles for the Mariners to get it going. Here, Justin Diaz advances all the way to second. That'll now bring up Blake Crossing, flew out to left his last time up. He is 0 for 1 coming into today. Crossing does have 14 RBIs. He's getting a chance now with a runner in scoring position to increase that, but draw a walk or just get a board for Crossing would be the best thing to do here. Again, mentioned he's 0 for 1 in this one. He was 0 for 5 yesterday. A couple of flyouts. He also lined right to the shortstop on a really hard hit. But here's a nice one drilled out to center, but Diffley will come underneath that one and make the catch. There's now 2 away. That's been Crossing's story of the season, especially as of late. He gets really good, solid contact to it, but it either is too high or it's right to an infielder, and for a line out, he's for some reason can't get the ball to drop in the favorable spots and gaps, and so he continues to struggle. But Van Acker struck out swinging his last time up. He comes in, taking strike 1 there on the edge of the plate. Count goes 0-1. 2 outs, 2 runners aboard. R.J. Williams is on first. Justin Diaz is on second. Van Acker in the righty-lefty matchup here. Stepping off is Finney to keep Diaz, and now he'll deliver the quick pitch. It's right there at the zone again. Quickly 0-2 to Van Acker. Acker steps in quickly. Finney steps on, looks in. And the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Van Acker. He goes down on 3 pitches. Both times he's struck out, have been swinging. He's 0 for 2 now. So they do get 2 hits in this inning. No runs scored, no errors. And the 2 hits leave 2 men aboard. We'll now head to the top half of the 4th. Mariners trailing 2-0 against the Lima Locos. For Lima, it will be John Privatera, Tyler Simon, and Jackson Shirley due up. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Mariners Baseball live on the Mariners Media Network. Seamer now comes out for the top of the 4th inning here. Mariners trailing 2-0 at Montgomery Field, their home field, of course. It is John Privatera. He was hit by a pitch his only time up here today. He steps in now. He also came around to score as well in that one on a sacrifice RBI fly by Nathan Fancher. He was the second of 2 runs to cross for the Locos so far here today. Now he comes up for the top of the 4th. First pitch to him is high and inside. Ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's fouled off, back and out of play towards the parking lot. Count goes 1-1. It always amazes me how close people park their cars, because we do get some high pops back and out of play, and especially on the third base side, your car will get hit if you keep putting it there. This one will be a smacker into right field, and it'll be a leadoff single for Privatera, his first base hit of the game. He's now 1 for 1 for Tyler Simon, the shortstop. He's 1 for 1 with a single back in the top of the 2nd. That was part of a 2-run 2nd inning. He did not come around to score. He got stranded at 2nd. That 2nd inning featured 2 base hits and 2 hit by pitches, and a sacrifice fly RBI did all the scoring. The 2nd hit by pitch was scored the 1st run. Stepping in and getting his commands is Tyler Simon, getting his first bit of action in this one, in this series here today. And a really deep run out. Now a throwing error here on Seamer, correction, will allow Privatera to get all the way over to second base. So it'll be an E1 there, as Seamer just threw that one by McCall because Privatera was really thinking about running. I mean, he got himself a dangerous leadoff, slipped on his way trying to get back, and perhaps he was back in there safely when Seamer looked back at him. But it'll be a throwing error on Seamer. Simon, the man, yet to receive a pitch. Runner on second now. Here comes the first pitch to him. It's high and inside. Ball 1. 1-0 now the count to Simon versus Seamer. Tommy Seamer steps back on for the Mariners pitching. He looks in for a sign, sets, and delivers the 1-0 pitch. It's a high fly ball, going foul, and out of play down the left field line. He was out in front of that one was Simon. Count now evens up at 1-1. Still nobody out. 2-0 the score. Mariners trailing here at home. Privatera, the man, on second. Check back to second by Seamer, and the delivery to Simon. This one will be a line drive right to the glove of Blake Crossing. He fumbles it, and there will be a fielding error there on Crossing. It'll be an E6 on Crossing, and 2 innings in this, 2 errors in this inning already. And there's runners on the corners now for Jackson Shirley. Was hit by a pitch his last time up. He actually brought in a run with that hit by pitch. That was at a bases loaded jam. When there was nobody out, he was hit by a pitch, brought the first run across the board. Runners at the corners, nobody out. Seamer has really struggled with this middle part of the lineup. He delivers just off the plate there, ball 1. I mean, just missing the plate. Seamer delivers, and the runner goes. This one is fouled, though, on the third base line. Count goes 1-1. Now to Jackson Shirley. Again, hit by a pitch his last time up. Jackson Shirley coming into today. Man from Danville Area College. He's from Anderson, Indiana. Hits 261 with a 333, and this will allow run to score. Nope, correction. They're going to hold Privatera up on the wild pitch as Seamer threw that one by Hayes. Count now 2-1, but that does allow Simon to get on second on the wild pitch there. So Simon reaches via the error by Blake Crossing, and then he gets to second on a wild pitch. So now there are 2 runners in scoring position, 1 on second, 1 on third. Count now 2-1. Here it's now 3-1 as that one misses low to Jackson Shirley. Jackson Shirley does have 8 RBIs. A good chance here now for him to get 9. His 9th and 10th. And instead, he'll just draw a walk. So the base is loaded again with nobody out to the middle part of this order. And for some reason, Seamer has really struggled against the middle fourth of the order. Or the middle third of the order, rather. That was the 7 hitter that he just walked. Christian Waltman, he popped foul his last time up. Here comes the first pitch to the right-handed batter. It's high and inside. He limbos out of the way of it. Count goes 1-0 to Waltman. Mariners trailing 2-0 here at home. Bases loaded, nobody out here in the top of the 4th. Again, Waltman 0 for 1, popped out in foul territory his last time up. Here's a line driver up the gap into center field. That'll score at least 1. They will go ahead and send in Simon from second. He will come in scoring. It'll be a 2 RBI single by Waltman. 4-0, the Locos now lead. Still nobody out. Runner on first, runner on second. Seamer not having a start to remember here. We are just 15 minutes into play here in the top of the 4th. Nathan Fancher steps in. He had a sacrifice RBI fly his last time up. That is again Nathan Fancher, left-handed batter, wearing number 25. Attends East Georgia from Kenshaw, Georgia. Shows bunt but pulls it back, as that's called ball 1 outside. What to know now the count here. Seamer steps back on. Fancher steps back into the lefty batter's box. And we'll go again. 1-0 the count. Runner on first is Christian Waltman. Jackson Shirley is on second. That'll be called strike 1 right there as it catches the corner. Count goes 1-1. Seamer steps back on, checks back to second, delivers the 1-1 count. This one will be called strike 2 right there at the low part of the zone. Count goes quickly. 1-2. Seamer steps back on. He'll get ready. He does have a favorable count to Fancher. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's just fouled to the backstop on a high heater there. He just got a nick to that one to fend it off. The count holds at 1-2. Fancher steps back in. Seamer checks back to second, and the 1-2 pitch. It's low, ball 2, 2-2 now the count here to Fancher, the designated hitter for the day. He bats to the 9 hole. Had a high sacrifice fly out to left, his only time up here today. Carried an RBI to it. Seamer checks back to second. He's got a 2-2 count with nobody out. Runner on first and second. This is a high pop back and out of play past the third base dugout, and we'll go again at 2-2. Fancher putting up a great battle here against Seamer. Seamer, a man who has struggled sometimes to find the zone. Again, this no real extended outings for him so much. This is only his second start in 8 appearances, including today. He only has 13 innings pitched on the season. Still looking for his first strikeout of the day as well. It's not going to come here as that one misses outside. Now it's 3-2, the count full to Fancher. Seamer has gone 3 innings. He's allowed 4 runs, no strikeouts, and he's walked a couple of batters as well. He's actually only walked 1. He's hit a couple of guys, though. This one here smacked into the gap into right field. It rolls through. They will go ahead and send the man from second, and Shirley. The throw is not in time to Hayes, and now it's 5-0. An RBI single there for Fancher, his second RBI of the game. And now it's 5-0. Go back to the top of the order now for Cade Veloso. He's popped out high sky balls, that high sky shots that barely leave the infield, though. A lot of error, absolutely no carry. First one was to short. Second one was in foul territory, just foul on the third base side, and was caught by McCaw. 5-0, Mariners trailing here at home in the top of the 4th. Still nobody out, And runners at the corners. Runner on third is Christian Waltman. First pitch is skied into center field. That will score in another one. And they'll go ahead and send Fancher all the way to third and hold him up there. It'll be an RBI single for Cade Peloso, his first base hit of the game and his first RBI of the series. Second base hit of the series. And here comes head coach Hacker to talk to Seamer, who's really struggled in this fourth inning. Talk some game plan. Runners at the corners once again. It's Fancher on third. It's Peloso on first. And that was Christian Waltman who just ran across to score. Michael Diffley now steps in. He's 0 for 2. Flew out to right and left his only 2 times up here today. He's 0 for 2. Mariners trailing 6-0 here at home. And absolutely struggling in the heat here is Tommy Seamer to get an out. He has yet to record an out in this third inning. Or this fourth inning, correction. And it was moving rather quickly up until now. Now it's just the game has kind of been held up now. Here comes the first pitch. It's inside to Diffley. Count goes 1-0. Diffley in his third at-bat here in the fourth inning. There is somebody up and warming in the Mariners bullpen. And this one will be a high sky pop back and out of play. Count goes 1-1 to Diffley. Bradley Calhoun is the man warming up in the bullpen for the Mariners. We'll see if he doesn't get a chance to come on here. Seamer can't get out of this inning. Seamer has just absolutely struggled, though, to get guys out. There's been a total of 5 base hits, 4 base hits, and an error. This one now is ball 2 as it misses outside. 2-1 now the count. 4 base hits in this inning for the Lima Locos. All of them have been singles, and 3 of them have carried at least 1 RBI on them. There was also an error that allowed Tyler Simon to get aboard. That was an error by the shortstop. Now it's 3-1 as once again Seamer is missing. Due up next would be Tyler Anshaw, also 0 for 1, 0 for 0 on the day, or 0 for 2. Outside and low, ball 4, and Diffley gets aboard on the walk. They are loaded once again with nobody out. 6-0, Mariners trailing. Tyler Anshaw will step in. He is 0 for 2 on the day. Popped high to shortstop his last time up on one that just barely left the infield. Flew out to center as well in the first. He steps in for his third at-bat. Tyler Anshaw. At Campbell this past season had 61 appearances played with 60 total starts. First pitch to him is high and outside, ball 1. He hit .245 with 31 RBIs. That was at Campbell. Then he was actually a transfer student, though, from Florence Darlington Tech, where he set the school record for RBIs in a single season with 43. He rockets this one right towards the first baseman, thrown over to second for 1. Crossing, the man covering at second has to hold up. A run does cross the plate. It's an RBI fielder's choice there. Play was 3-4. Runners still at the corners. 7-0 now. Lima leading for Mark Castablanco. 0 for 1. Grounded out to second. Grounded out to short his only time up here today. Again, he came in pinched run for Brad Croy, who had a single that he rocketed out to center field as he tried to round first. He twisted his ankle and left the game immediately. So Anshaw is on first, had the RBI fielder's choice, which trying to turn to was McCall. Threw back to second, but crossing could not turn to, as this one will be on 0-1 count, will be fouled off back to the backstop. Now count goes quickly 0-2 to Castablanco. 7-0. Only one out here in the bottom of or top half of the fourth. Seamer gathers. He has a favorable 0-2 count to Castablanco. Bounces out in front of the plate. Hayes blocks it up nicely to hold Peloso at third. Peloso is at third. It's Tyler Anshaw at first. Castablanco, the left-handed batter, at the plate. Seamer would benefit from a ground out double play here. Try to get out of this inning. He's already allowed 5 runs so far in this inning. Runners at the corners, only 1 out, struggling here. Runner goes. Here comes a high sky pop. Going foul. Justin Diaz comes underneath it, looks for it, and makes the catch. And there's now 2 away. Casablanco pops out in foul territory to the third baseman. Then I'll bring up John Privatera for the second at-bat of this inning for him. He had a single to lead it off, and then he reached second on a throwing error by the pitcher, Seamer. Seamer's going to be held in there. There's now 2 outs. Still runners at the corner, 7-0. Lima Locos still leading here in the top of the 4th. Now an hour and a half. Correction, now an hour into gameplay. Game started at 4:30. Here we're all about trying to get through halfway through this game. Quicker rather than not. And this one will be high. Ball 1 to John Privatera. He is 1 for 1 on the day. Was hit by a pitch at his first at bat in the top of the 2nd. Then he got a single to start this top of the 4th. Runners at the corners for him. First pitch is bounced out in front of the plate. On first it is Tyler Anshaw. On third, correction, it is Cade Peloso. 7-0 again. The score, it's 2-0. The count to Privatera. Watches that one bounce. Seamer sets, gathers, and delivers the 2-0 pitch. It's hit here out into right field. Coming over is Mackenzie Hicks. It'll go foul. And out of play. Count goes now 2-1. Boy, that one was very close to staying fair, I do believe. Again, my view down the right field line is not the greatest, but based on where Mackenzie Hicks ended up there, that one had stayed fair. It would have been a 3-run shot for Privatera. Instead, it went foul. Now the count's 2-1 to him. Runner goes. Here comes the hold on by Hayes to prevent the double steal. He did think about throwing, but instead he's just going to go ahead and let Anshaw have second base on the stolen base there. Because if he had thrown to second with such a great jump, the risk would have been that he wouldn't have got him out, and Beloso would have tried the double steal and gone home. 2-2 now the count here. By the way, that's now outside 3-2 to Privatera, the man batting left. Privatera had 56 starts for Missouri State as he hits this one high into center field, and it'll drop for a base hit. That will score Beloso, and coming around third and scoring will be Tyler Anshaw. A 2 RBI single, and it continues for the Locos. It's 2 RBI single for Privatera. Runs 8 and 9 cross the plate here in the top of the 4th. Mariners struggling. Tyler Simon steps in. He smacked it right to Blake Crossing, the shortstop, his last time up. But Crossing fumbled it, and with Simon's speed, he was able to get on first quickly. And so it was an error on the shortstop Crossing. He steps in for his second at-bat of the inning. He takes an inside strike there, 0-1. Simon is 1 for 2 on the day with a single in the 2nd, and then reached on the error here in the 4th. Seamer steps back on, 9-0 your score. And this one will be right to Blake Crossing. He makes up for that error, but too little too soon. After 7 runs cross the plate here, Crossing catches that one on the quick hitter there, and they finally get out of this 4th inning. 7 runs score on a total of 5 hits. There was 2 errors, and 1 man was left on base. We now head to the bottom half of the 4th. Mariners trailing 9-0. It'll be Jake McCaw, Evan Spry, and Tyson Hayes due up. Thank you for listening to Mariners Baseball on the Mariners Media Network. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Finney gets a nice breather before he steps out now for the bottom half of the fourth. We're an hour into play now here. And the Mariners trail 9-0 in the bottom half of the fourth. Jake McCall will lead it off for the Mariners. He grounded out right back to the pitcher. His last time up, he is 0 for 1. Jake McCall, the first baseman for the day, also does the DH duties and also plays some third base as well. But defensively, he's better at first. All in all, he commits less errors, probably has less to do from the most part, though, at first. But he's had quite a few throwing errors when he's played third base. He now takes a second pitch there. It's all low as well, just like the first. Quickly, it's 2-0 to McCall. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. McCall takes right there on the edge of the zone. It's strike one, 2-1. McCall comes into this day. Again, 0 for 1 on the day, as he takes just low, ball 3. Illinois State this past spring for him, he had 14 appearances with 12 starts. He hit 182 with a .315 on-base percentage, 4 doubles as he knocks this one high just on the edge of the outfield grass. Coming underneath of it will be Simon, the shortstop, and there's one away. Still 9-0, Mariners trailing here. They've gotten their first two base hits in the last inning, but we're unable to score anybody after a couple of one-out singles. I'm going to bring up Evan Spry, DHing here today. He's 0 for 1, popped out to third baseman and foul territory, his only time up. First pitch to him. Caught catch in the zone there on the low part. Strike one. Spry will check his swing, but it's right down the corner again. Count goes quickly 0-2 to Spry, who for Creighton University this past season had 12 appearances, 5 starts. He hit .238 with 5 RBIs. 0-2 count. He smacks this one right back to the pitcher. Finney digs it up, throws it over to Beloso. 1-3, and Spry is retired. That'll bring up now Tyson Hayes. Struck out swinging, his only time up here today. So he's 0 for 1. Hayes at Illinois State as well, just like Jake McCall. But Hayes at Illinois State did not make a single appearance. Again, catchers usually don't play as much in their first couple of years as they do their second 2 seasons. Right there at the high corner, taking all the way, is Hayes. Count goes 0-1. 2 outs, nobody on. Mariners have gone by rather quickly as Hayes elevates this one high into center field. Going over is the center fielder, and Diffley makes the catch. Hayes is retired, and they go in order for the third time in 4 innings for the Mariners. It's 9-0. The Lima Locos still lead. Will now head to the top half of the 5th. And due up for the Locos, it will be Jackson Shirley, Christian Waltman, and Nathan Fancher, a.k.a. bottom third of the order. Thank you for listening to Mariners Baseball live on the Mariners Media Network. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. After Tommy Seamer goes 4 innings, he allows 9 runs, all of which count as earned. Gave up 7 hits. He walked 2, didn't punch anybody out. His day is over as we head to the top of the 5th. Bradley Calhoun steps in. And Calhoun steps in. Right-handed pitcher. I'm actually being told he allowed only 8 earned runs. I'll go back and confirm that, but I'm being told he only gave up 8 earned runs, 9 total runs. Either way, he is in line for the loss as Calhoun, the right-hander, steps in. Calhoun on the season for the Mariners coming in here. He is 1-0 with an 8.10 ERA, pitched 10 innings. He's allowed 6 extra base hits, which includes 3 home runs. He's punched out 9, only walked 1. This is his 8th appearance. He's from Troy, Ohio, and Otterbein College. Otterbein College is where he goes to school. Where he just finished his freshman season, where he had 4 appearances, went 3 1/3 innings, and a 10.80 ERA. So Jackson Shirley, the right fielder, steps in. It'll be a righty-righty matchup here as Calhoun, the right-hander, goes up against the right-handing Jackson Shirley. Shirley steps in. Calhoun steps on. And the first pitch. Swung on and missed there by Shirley. Tell you what, Calhoun has had some pretty brutal outings when it comes, but his ability to throw strikes is pretty well. Sometimes, though, he leaves it too much on the plate, which is why he has given up 3 home runs. And this one right here will be bounced to Crossing, who fumbles it a little bit. Will get the scoop up and the throw down to first, and just in time, the play will be made. Almost could have been error number 2 on Crossing there here today. But he manages to get it on the hop right into his bare hand, throw it over to McCaw. 6-3 with 1 out for Christian Waltman. He's 1 for 2 on the day. An RBI, 2 RBI single in the 4th. He popped up in foul territory his first time up. 9-0 Locos leading here. Delivers it in there on the off-speed pitch by Calhoun. Waltman takes strike 1. Calhoun steps back on. And the 0-1 pitch is taken just a little bit low and outside. Ball 1-1 now. The count evens up again, 9-0. Locos leading here at Montgomery Field. It was 2-0 until that 4th inning where they exploded for 7 runs. Mariners have yet to put up a run on the board. This one will be fouled high and out of play past the first base dugout and the press box here. Count goes 1-2. Calhoun is ahead. Calhoun looks in for his sign. Gets ready to set and fires to Waltman. Cut on and missed. He really shortened up there. Wow. He looked like T-Rex arms as he swung that bat on the high heater. But he is struck out. That is the first strikeout of the game for Mariners pitching. Comes here in the top of the 5th. 2 up, 2 down for Nathan Fancher. An RBI single in the 4th and a sacrifice RBI fly in the 2nd. So he's 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs. He steps in now. His team leads 9-0. It'll be left-handed batter versus right-handed pitcher. Here comes a high sky ball out to center. Back goes R.J. Williams, but this one is pretty much out of here. And we will say goodbye to it. See you later. Fly, fly away. Nathan Fancher will get himself his 3rd run batted in on a solo home run there. And he's had a very productive day. Almost wonder why he wasn't in the lineup yesterday. And if you look at it for Fancher, you almost wonder why is he only hitting 167. That is his first home run of the season. And it is now 10-0. Top of the order we go. Cade Peloso, 1 for 3 on the day. A couple of pop-outs and an RBI single. RBI single came in his most recent at-bat back in the 4th. It's another right-handed pitcher versus left-handed batter. Here comes the first pitch. Right there on the inside part of the zone. Count goes 0-1. Very quickly has this gotten out of hand in these last couple innings. Mariners just absolutely struggling. They've gotten the first 2 outs here quickly as taking there on the inside corner once again, checking his swing. Doesn't go around, but it's called strike 2. 0-2. Peloso down in the hole. It's just really... Again, Mariners, though, they've gotten a lot of these cases where they've gotten the first 2 batters out, and then they allow something like the Fancher home run. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Bouncing out there, hits him on the back foot, and he will hobble and limp his way down to walk it off as he takes first base. I mean, that one drilled him on his back foot. So Peloso is hit by a pitch, and like I said, you get that home run by Fancher, you can't just let it fall apart, and you can't just hit the next batter. I mean, you had him down to the count 0-2, which is even more painful for Calhoun, that you would then hit the guy on the foot. and he'd be walked. So Michael Diffley now steps in. He's 0 for 2 with a walk in the 4th. He flew out to right and left as well. He steps in. It's a righty-righty matchup. 10-0, Mariners trailing here at home in the top of the 5th. Taken there on the edge of the plate, strike one. 0-1. Calhoun checks back to first before gathering his pitch in the glove. And the 0-1 pitch is off the bat. It'll go down the third base line, and it'll be at least a double here, as heading to second will be Diffley. Peloso will be held up at third. So it's a 2-out double for Diffley. So in this inning, Jackson Shirley grounded out to short. Waltman struck out swinging. Then the Nathan Fancher knocked the wheels off the train. And Peloso was hit by a pitch. Diffley gets the double. And Mariners, once again, showing they, for some reason, just struggle to get out of innings, especially when there's 2 outs. I'm going to have to do some digging during the All-Star break to get you an exact number, but just from memory, I can think of 3 or 4 times in the past couple of games where they've gotten 2 outs, and that's per game. This one will be dropping into left field. It'll score 1. They'll go ahead and send Diffley from second all the way home. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's offline. It's a 2 RBI single by Tyler Anshaw. His second and third RBI of the game. And it is now 12-0. A runner at first as Anshaw holds up at first. That'll bring up Mark Castablanco. He's 0 for 2 here today. Things are just not going the Mariners' way in this stretch. They are 1 for 3 in their last, actually 1 for 4 in their last 5 games. They split the series as Castablanco swings and misses on that one. They split the series against the Monarchs. Then the Copperheads came to town. They got swept in absolutely brutal fashion. A couple of double-digit losses to the Copperheads. And then they lost yesterday to the Locos, and all but I'd be very surprised to see a comeback in this one here in the top of the 5th. 12-0, Mariners trailing. Count now 1-1 as Casablanco took strike 1 and takes ball 1 low. Calhoun sets, checks back to first where he's got to deal with Tyler Anshaw, the 2 RBI single from him. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed there by Casablanco. He's down in the hole now, 1-2. I'll go ahead and get you some updates from some scores around the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League here in a second. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, though. It'll be a high rocketer out to right field. It's going back, and we'll kiss this one goodbye, too. And so there's runs 13 and 14 for the Locos here today, and they're just pouring it on. It's a 2-run homer by Mark Castablanco. And for Casablanco, that's his 2nd home run of the season. And it's also RBIs 16 and 17. 2nd home run of this inning. That'll bring up John Privatera as the Mariners trail 14-0 here at home. Saginaw Sugar Beets lead 10-6 over the St. Clair Green Giants up in Windsor, Ontario. Bottom of the 8th. At the bottom of the 5th, Graders lead 7-0 over the Xenia Scouts. Ball 1 there to John Privatera. He is 2 for 2 on the day. Also was hit by a pitch. He's got a couple of singles, one of which came with 2 RBIs. The Graders lead 7-1 in Xenia over the Scouts. That's in the bottom of the 5th. Top of the 2nd, Jazz and Copperheads tied at 0 apiece against the in Athens. And that's all the scores so far. 1-1 now the count as that's taken for strike 1. Here comes the 3rd pitch. This will be a high fly over to right, and this should get us out of the inning as Hicks comes over, makes the catch. But not before 5 more are added on. It is now 14-0. A couple of home runs and a 2 RBI single get it done. We'll head to the bottom of the half of the inning. Mariners trailing 14-0 here on the Mariners Media Network. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Finney will return out to the mound for the Lima Locos in the bottom of the fifth. He is got a lot of buffering room to work with here. Absolutely no need to worry about any sort of comeback here. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's 14-0, and the Locos are leading very comfortably. You've got to maintain hope, though. I mean, if there's no excitement, what's the point of watching? And maybe Steven Fitzsimmons will get this going. Mariners have definitely been a late run scoring team. Their first run yesterday came in the fourth. And they put up a couple of one spots throughout that game yesterday. But they have a hard time with keeping runs off the board in the early goings. Here's a hard blooper right to the shortstop. And on the first pitch, Fitzsimmons is retired. 1 up, 1 down, 1 pitch. Mackenzie Hicks now steps in. He popped out to the first baseman. His only time up here today. He's 0 for 1. 14-0 still your score here in the bottom half of the fifth. Hicks takes low and inside, ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 count, fouled off, back and out of play by Hicks. Count goes 1-1. Take it inside. It's going to be called strike 2. And that'll be now the 1-2 count here to Hicks. It was a delayed call, too. Ever so slight hesitation as the umpire thought about it. And that one will be just off the plate on the outside. 2-2. Count evens up now. Here comes the pitch to Hicks. It's tapped down the first base line, right to the first baseman. He fumbles it. Has a chance to turn around and throw, but Hicks will beat it out. So should be an error there on Beloso. It will be. He fumbled that one, had a chance to take that one by himself, get a 1-2-3 inning, but instead, or correction, that was only going to be out number 2, but still, with 1 out now, runner aboard thanks to the E3, brings up Justin Diaz 1 for 1. The only 2 hits for the Mariners here today came from their 8 and 9 hitters. Diaz 1 for 1 with a single. RJ Williams also with a single. And we'll now see if the Mariners can't get something going off that error. Here comes the first pitch to Diaz. He'll take just on the edge of the plate there on the outside. Strike 1. The 0-1 pitch. Bouncing out in front of the plate. Blocked up there by Waltman. 1-1. 1 out. Runner on first. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Diaz takes high, ball 2, 2-1. Once again, Finney just working that quick tempo. And it's working for him as the Mariners batters can't seem to get comfortable in their boxes. Here comes now the 2-1 pitch. Taking low and outside, ball 3, 3-1 to Diaz. 14-0, still the score here from Montgomery Field. If Mariners got their base runner aboard with 1 out via the error by the first baseman Beloso. Now it's a 3-1 count to Diaz after the pop fly. Diaz will swing and miss. Don't know quite what that swing was. There's garden hose style swinging, but this looked like more like he was swinging. I'm going to describe it as a 3-year-old trying to swing a normal bat. That's how slow that swing was, but he went around anyway. Full count now here to Diaz. 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 called right there on the edge of the plate on the outside. That'll be the fourth strikeout of the day for Finney. Now with 2 outs, R.J. Williams, 1 for 1 with a single back in the third, steps in. Runner on first is Mackenzie Hicks, reached via the air. Finney steps on, gathers the grip, and delivers. Diaz swings and misses there. Strike 1. Here, clouds continue to roll in here in Montgomery Field. Again, the rain is not supposed to come till tomorrow, where the Mariners will be off. Reminder that the All-Star break starts tomorrow and it goes through Wednesday. Strike 2 taken there on the inside corner to the left-handed batter, Williams. Count goes quickly 0-2 with 2 outs, runner on first. Again, score 14-0 here from Montgomery Field. No Mariners were selected for the All-Star game. A couple of guys missed by 1 vote. Outside, ball 2, 2-2 now here to Williams. Correction, 1-2, as that was ball 1. The Mariners, a couple of pitchers, including Tyler Looney, missed by 1. Don't have the exact list. I was never quite told. They just released the All-Star rosters today. For either side, they posted them online. That was fouled off by Williams to stay alive. The only reason I know the information that Mariners didn't make it was because they told the teams well beforehand who, if anybody, was making it. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Williams. This will be a liner up the gap into center field. Hicks will be stopped at second, and R.J. Williams will get his second base hit. It's also a single. He's now 2 for 2 to go back to the top of the order. Blake Crossing flew out to left and center. It's only 2 times up. He's 0 for 2. 14-0 still the score. Runner at second, runner at first. Mariners' primary problem has been giving up runs with 2 outs. We were kind of talking about it here in the press box. All the outs back in the top of this 5th inning, they all came with 2 outs. The first 2 outs came quickly. Then came a home run, a hit by pitch, a double, a 2 RBI single, and then a 2-run homer before it was all over and John Privatera was retired. So stepping in will be Blake Crossing. Now there's a meeting on the mound. Not quite sure why. It's not the first time he's allowed a couple of aboard. There's his 2 outs, but they're going to have a meeting on the mound here as Blake Crossing steps in. Coach, catcher, and pitcher only. Just a brief conversation. It's taken a while, though, and now the umpire's going to say, hey, break it up. Come on, let's play. This game was going so quickly until you guys decided to have 2 big innings. And don't delay any longer with this human rain delay and conversation. Unless it's an injury, there is somebody up and throwing in the bullpen. They're going to leave him out there. They are leaving Finney out there, though. 2 outs, runners on first and second. Hicks is on second. Williams is on first. 14-0. Mariners trailing by a lot here at home. And the man stepping in is Blake Crossing. Again, flew out his 2 times up here today. He's 0 for 2. Finney looks in, checks back to second, and delivers the first pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1-0 to Crossing. Shouldn't be any serious worry about Hicks out there stealing, as Crossing fouls this one back and out of play, so no need really to check back to Hicks. Nobody really covering at second. Hicks has yet to steal a base yet this season. And he's not really a fast guy either. Again, he's normally a pitcher. They just kind of hide him out there in right field. Or they put him on the bases as an infielder. This one will be fouled off as Crossing was well out in front of that one. Again, Crossing, the switch hitter, will be batting right here against the left-handed pitcher. The count goes quickly 1-2 to Crossing. Not having a series to remember as he's 0 for 2 in this one. Yesterday he was 0 for 5. He am 0 for 7 in this series. Here comes the first pitch to Crossing. He gets this one, and it'll be past the diving play there of the second baseman, and they will send Hicks from second around third. He'll go home. Here comes the throw to the plate. Not in time. Crossing will drive in a run on his first base hit of the series. It's an RBI single, and the Mariners finally get on the board here in the bottom half of the 5th. It's an RBI single to Crossing. R.J. Williams holds up at second, and now it's 14-1. I got to keep Finney out there here now to face Van Acker. Struck out swinging his 2 times up here today. 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts swinging is Van Acker. So now we'll see if Acker can't get to Finney here. He swings and foul tips that one back to the screen. May have gotten out of play. Count goes 0-1 to Acker. Van Acker, man who attended Alma College, had 42 appearances. He hit .284 with a .370 on-base percentage. 6 stolen bases. R.J. Williams heads to third. He had a great jump. There was no doubt about it with R.J. Williams' speed. And give Williams his first stolen base of the season. Runners are now at the corners. And I'm sure Blake Crossing might be heading out on this pitch as well. Here comes the first pitch. Acker hits this one high into center, but not deep at all. In comes the center fielder is Diffley. Acker will be retired, and they leave 2 stranded. 1 run does finally cross the plate for the Mariners on 2 hits. There was an error, and no base, and 2 men left aboard. You're listening to Mariners Baseball live on the Mariners Media Network. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Calhoun returns back out to the mound here at Montgomery Field to get his 2nd inning of work. The righty did allow 5 runs back in the 5th. He now comes up to face Tyler Simon, who drilled a liner. He drilled a liner to shortstop, and also crossing in that 4th inning. Also had an error that allowed Simon to reach, so Crossing was beat once, and now Crossing here with another chance to get him out. Does make this play, but the throw is offline. Don't know if Simon would have beat that out. He has a lot of speed. And that'll be an error there on Blake Crossing as he pulls Jake McCall. Tyler Simon has been the bane of Blake Crossing's existence in this game. Yeah, that's the 2nd error that he has committed on a couple of plays. That is the 3rd error of the day for the Mariners, 2 of which have been on Crossing. The other has been a throwing error on Tommy Seamer. Stepping in now with nobody out, runner on first will be Jackson Shirley. He is 0 for 2. He is 0 for 1 with a walk and a hit by pitch. Here comes Calhoun's first pitch to him. Ooh, definitely hit him. I might have gotten him on the side of the head. It did drill him on the side of the head. He is okay. He's a little upset that he got knocked on the head. And he almost angrily, in fact, the umpire is going to escort him partway down, and then he gives Calhoun a little bit of a, okay, I'm not going to charge the mound thing here. And so now a hit by pitch by Jackson Shirley, the 2nd time he's been drilled here today. There's now 2 aboard, nobody out. And we're going to take a break here just to make sure he's okay. Because, again, knock here on the side of the head. And so 14-1, 2 runners aboard, nobody out. Lima leading at 14-1. Stepping in now is number 23, in Christian Waltman, the catcher. He is 1 for 3. Swung on and missed. Strike one. 0-1 the count. Two RBI single by Waltman. I think I'm hearing news that we might be shortening this game just because of how it is at the 7th. I'll confirm that here in a second. But swung on a miss now. Quickly down to the count is Waltman. 0-2 struck out swinging his last time up. I will confirm that here between innings if I can't get that information. But right now I'm hearing that we might be only going 7 just because this is a blowout and Mariners have not been able to get anything. Quickly, it's 1-2 as that one misses outside. And low. Again, 2 RBI single by Waltman. Has a chance to drive in a runner from second here if he can get a base hit. Calhoun looks in for a sign. Has a favorable count, though. 14-1 the score. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Just a bit outside. Ball 2. 2-2 the count evens up. We are now an hour and a half into this game here in the 6th inning. Top of the 6th. Calhoun has no outs. A 2-2 count here with 2 aboard. Waltman, the man at the plate. 2-2 pitch. It's fouled and tipped back to the screen. Count goes 2-2. Calhoun looks in for his sign. Checks back to second. And delivers the 2-2 pitch. It's a high fly ball out to left field. Coming over is Fitzsimmons. He'll get underneath it, make the catch. And that will retire the first batter. And there's one away. 14-1 still the score for Nathan Fancher. He is 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs. And that includes a home run back in the 5th. With 2 outs, he homered. And an RBI single. And it was a sacrifice RBI fly as well for him. So each time he's come up, he's gotten a run driven in. He's 2 for 2. He bats left here. He's got a very unconventional way to hold the bat in his stance. A lot of guys, you know, they really hold it like close to their head. They really crank back. He holds his like high and away from his body. A left-handed batter. It worked for him, though, because he does have a home run. It's just a different way to hold the bat. He now has an 0-2 count here as he takes back-to-back strikes on the outside part of the plate. Stepping back in will be Fancher, the designated hitter. He'll look in. He bats 9 here today. Calhoun gets his sign, likes the pitch. He still has to deal with two people on the bags, but it's here now. Swing and a miss. And down on strikes goes Fancher, the first time they are able to get to him today. And now there's 2 away, still a couple of runners aboard. And it's still 14-1 for Lima. Cade Beloso now comes in. He is 1 for 3 on the day. A couple of pop-outs, an RBI single, and he was hit by a pitch his last time up in the 5th. That was a pitch that bounced right on his back foot. That hit him. Slight breeze now starting to blow across Montgomery Field from left to right. First pitch to Beloso is called strike 1 as it's curveball on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. 14-1 the score. Runner on first is Jackson Shirley. On second, Tyler Simon. Simon reached via the air. Shirley was hit by a pitch, and it was a pitch right in his head. Beloso hits this one sky high. In comes R.J. Williams, the center fielder, though, to make the catch. And that will retire the side. This is Mariners Baseball live on the Mariners Media Network. They trail 14-1 and will now head to the bottom half of the 6th. McCall, Spry, and Hayes due up for your Mariners. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. So after going 6 innings, after going 5 innings, allowing 1 run, 4 hits, 1 walk, and striking out 4 batters, Bryson Finney will be in line for the win if this result holds, which I'm assuming it will, because the Mariners just haven't been able to get anything going for them here today. Carter Bowen is the new man on the mound. He's a right-handed pitcher. He wears number 16. He's 1-1 on the season. This will be his 10th appearance. A 2.32 ERA with 19 of the third innings pitched, and 19 strikeouts to a humbling 6 walks. He attends Auburn, the alma mater of both coaches for the Mariners staff. They were actually roommates at Auburn and teammates. Strike 1 in there to McCall, right there in the inside part of the corner. McCall 0 for 1, a pop out and a ground out here today. McCall steps back in. Lefty-righty matchup, by the way. Right-handed pitching, left-handed batting. McCall takes inside. Ball 1, 1-1 now the count. I tell you what, there's not supposed to be any storms in the area, but the wind started blowing like there should be, and the clouds are rolling in like we might be getting some rain. Fouling that off, Chris Myers now. Count goes 1-2. Wind has really started to pick up now here. It's blowing from left center inward. Again, the wind was not supposed to really picked up. The loose papers in this dugout have really started to blow around. And I tell you what, this breeze feels nice in the dugout, but it's starting to blow some debris. Again, this is still a construction zone. That's outside, ball 2. Count evens up now with 2-2. This is still a construction zone. The press box here is not complete whatsoever. I'm still actually running my electricity through a bunch of extension cords. Call takes ball 3. It's a little bit low and outside. 3-2 now the count. So there's manuals and little bits of fuzz and paper and plastic all over the place that kind of blow around when the breeze happens. McCall will swing and miss at one that bounces. He'll go down swinging. He'll strike out for the first time here today. And that'll be the 5th strikeout victim to Locos pitching and the first for Bowen. Evan Spry, designated hitter, 0 for 2 on the day here. Comes in now. Spry trying to get things going for the Mariners with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. He'll knock this one foul towards the bullpen of the Lima Locos. There's somebody up and warming up in the bullpen already. The wind continues to blow through here. Even rippling some jerseys across the field. It's called strike 2 in the outside corner there. Leaves blow out of the trees. Across the field. Wow, wind is really picked up here in Salina. Count 0-2 here now to Spry. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Spry checks out, looks outside. It'll be called strike 3 though. Catching that part of the plate. Back-to-back case for Bowen. And there are 2 away. Tyson Hayes now steps in. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. I'll tell you what. The long ball might be completely deleted now with this wind. It is brutal. We've seen quite a few long balls in the past couple of days. I don't think we're going to be seeing them as ball 1 here to Tyson Hayes, the catcher. He's 1-0 now. Because the way the wind is blowing in, there's probably, the ball will not carry as well. Outside and low, ball 2. Clouds continue to roll in. Perhaps there's a pop-up storm in the area. Who knows? But a 2-0 count here to Hayes. As we get back to baseball, he'll take right there on the high part of the zone on the plate. Count now 2-1 as he gets strike 1 right there. Bowen, the right-handed pitcher, right-handed batter, and Hayes. Again, Hayes is 0 for 2. And Hayes cuts and misses there. Count evens up now on 2-2. 2 outs, nobody aboard. Again, the score is 14-1. Mariners trailing by a lot. Or, as the president would say, trailing bigly. So I guess that's a word he uses. Outside, Hayes takes low. And outside, ball 3. 3-2 now the count. Full count, payoff pitch. Hit high, out into left field. It'll carry and just drop foul. Right there on the line. I mean by probably just an inch or so, that one drops foul. Otherwise, that's an easy double for Hayes. So we'll go again then at 3-2. If Hayes reaches, It's Fitzsimmons in the on-deck circle. But Hayes will step in. Righty matchup here. Hayes will tap this one down towards the first pitching mound. Flipped over to first, and the side goes in order. 1-3 of the play there after a couple of strikeouts to the two guys that lead it off. No runs, no hits, no errors, no men left aboard. We now head to the top half of the seventh. Mariners trailing 14-1. Locos will be having their Michael Diffley, Tyler Anshaw, and Mark Castablanco due up. This is Mariners Baseball Live on the Mariners Media Network. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Top half of the seventh inning now. Bradley Calhoun back on the mound. Diffley, Anshaw, and Castablanco due up for the Locos. They lead 14-1 over your Grand Lake Mariners here after the Mariners were jumped on in the fourth and fifth inning. They gave up 7 in the fourth and fifth. That tagged along with 2 in the second inning. It's just not been a good day for Mariners, pitching or hitting, as they can't seem to find the ability to score either, or strike one taken there by Diffley on the inside corner to the right-handed batter. 0-1 the count. Calhoun sets, and the 0-1 pitch. This is a high sky ball. Not very deep, though, as coming over is R.J. Williams. He makes the grab. There's now one away on 2 pitches. Tyler Anshaw now steps in. He is 1 for 3. He is 1 for 3 with a couple of RBIs. 3 to be exact. A single that carried 2. A fielder's choice ground out that carried 1. A couple of flyouts as well. Strike 1 called here to Anshaw. 0-1. Breeze continues to go through. It feels really nice in this press box, which was humid before the breeze started. Clouds roll in. Here comes the outside 1-1 now. The count here to Anshaw. Flag still continues to blow out in center field from about left to right or so. Then it settles down. Birds in the area, not liking the wind. This one will be a nice curveball catching outside. 1-2. Count goes 1-2. 1 out. Calhoun to Anshaw. 14-1 again, that score. Mariners trailing here at home in the top of the 7th. The 1-2 pitch. It's popped back and out of play towards the parking lot. We'll go again at 1-2. For Anshaw, already talked about his college numbers, but in high school, he was the pitcher of the year as his senior. That was, of course, for Port St. Lucie High School. Here comes the pitch to him. It bounces out in front of the plate. Almost gets his shoes again course, the last man to get hit by a pitch by the shoes was the kid below, so Anshaw almost felt the same fate. Now the count runs even at 2-2. Calhoun steps back on, looks in, and delivers the 2-2 pitch. Popped high. It'll go out into left field. It'll go foul and drop in the bullpen for the Locos. Giving chase was Fitzsimmons, but he was unable to make a play on it. Count holds at 1-2 with 1 out. Anshaw had already made his way basically all the way to second on his run there. He was thinking triple all the way. But he'll have to take a long walk across the infield to get back into the batter's box and go again on a 2-2 count. Not a very good triples ballpark. Still yet to get the dimensions for this place. Haven't found somebody who knows it. But they're guessing about 350 out to center or so. It's a very shallow outfield here. The shallowest in the summer league. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. This one will be a high sky ball. Out to right, going over his Hicks. He'll just watch that go over his head. But it will be foul. Just foul. Count goes 2-2. So 2-2 count here again to Anshaw, the all-around utility man. What do you want him to do? He'll do it, basically. He'll build you a dugout if you ask it for him. Here, he'll now tap this one over to the first baseman. McCall digs it up, takes a hard grounder to the chest, but he'll block it up like a catcher. And now there's 2 away after battling. Anshaw is finally retired for the 3rd time here today. Play was unassisted to third. So with 2 away, that'll bring up Mark Casablanco. Shot out a 2-run homer near the scoreboard in right field. His last time up. Other than that, he's got a couple of outs. So he's 1 for 3 on the day. Here again, he replaced Brad Croy, who had a single to lead off the second. But then Croy, rounding first, twisted his ankle. And he was quickly pulled for Casablanco, who became a pinch runner in that situation. Strike 1 delivered right in there. 0-1 to Casablanco. Pitch on the 0-1, called strike 2. Quickly 0-2 here to Casablanco. Calhoun sets and delivers the 0-2 pitch. Just a bit outside, ball 1. It's a good hitter's call right there. On an 0-2 count, hitters will sometimes get a benefit of a 50-50 right on the edge ball. This time it'll be called ball 1. 1-2 though, still to Casablanco. We see it goes both ways. If there's a 3-0 count, pitcher will get a favorable call. This one's elevated here by Casablanco into center fielder. Enter center field. In comes the center fielder and R.J. Williams to make the catch. And they go in order here. For just the 3rd time for the Locos, they go in order. And we'll go to the bottom half of the 7th. The Mariners trailing 14-1. Due up for the Mariners. It will be Stephen Fitzsimmons, Mackenzie Hicks, and Justin Diaz. Thank you for listening to Mariners Baseball live on the Mariners Media Network. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Carter Bowen comes in, does his 1 inning of work, didn't allow run, hit, or walk. He struck out 2 batters, the first 2 he faced. And now coming out to the mound will be number 38 in Troy Cordray. He is 1-0 for the Locos in 4 appearances. Appearance number 5 coming for him with a 5.14 ERA, 7 innings pitched. He's given up 4 extra base hits. He's struck out 5 and hasn't walked a single batter. It is 14-1 here. Mariners trailing by a lot. And Steven Fitzsimmons, left fielder, 0 for 2, steps in here today, coming in for his 3rd plate appearance. We're waiting on the umpire now. That's unusual. Getting one last sip of water before he steps in behind the plate, behind the catcher and behind Fitzsimmons. It's a righty matchup on the mound, lefty matchup in the box. Swung on, foul tip towards the parking lot, and uh-oh, that hit what looks like a Buick out there right on the hood. Bounced right on it. I think that's a Buick out there, not quite sure. Count now 0-1 to Fitzsimmons, though. It's a skip for parking your car so close, not thinking it will get hit. Down the left field line, going into foul territory, into the bullpen, and a diving play there, but not by the outfielder. It was actually by one of the bullpen pitchers. One of the pitchers out in the bullpen, I think it was Tanner Hall, kind of just scooped that one up. But that will not count for an out. Instead, 0-2 to Fitzsimmons. Sorry to get you all excited out there. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Fitzsimmons. It's outside, ball 1. This is why, by the way, getting that Buick hit, that's why I parked my car as far as I possibly can in what is the player/employee parking lot for Montgomery Field with no lines. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. It's outside, ball 2, 2-2. Seriously, the normal parking lot out here, though, does have lines. With the employee parking lot, it's kind of a free-for-all. Just kind of park where the norm is set up. We do end up getting it all in line. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fitzsimmons, it's outside, ball 3, counts full now, 3-2. We do all line up in a row out there for the most part, but it's kind of like, it just kind of gets set up by the first couple of cars out there, where the lines are, how it's all set up. I park up against the grass and far away, though. Fitzsimmons will rocket this one, but right to the glove of the first baseman, second baseman, in Privatera, who makes a low catch but does get the line out. 1 out will now head to Mackenzie Hicks. 0 for 2, but reached on an error his last time up back in the 5th. It was an error by the first baseman. Should have been able to take that one himself, but he fumbled it, and Beloso fumbled it trying to get it. Here comes the pitch. Mackenzie Hicks takes strike 1 at the knees. By the way, at first base right now, it is Michael Diffley at first base. Michael Diffley trying to catch that defensive change. Nobody informed us of that. Usually the umpire informs us in the press box. 0-2 now as Hicks takes strike 2. So Diffley has been moved from center field to first base. That must mean that Castablanco, strike 3 called here on Mackenzie Hicks. He goes down on 3 straight pitches. All of them were looking. That must mean Castablanco went out to center. Justin Wiley, I actually think, is now out in left, if I'm looking correctly. Nobody informed us of any of these changes, so I'm trying to find them as I go. It is Casablanca out in center. I guess Beloso's day is probably done. Diaz steps in, right-handed batter versus right-handed pitcher. Fouls this one off. Count goes 0-1. So I think Beloso's day is done, and Wiley will come in for his spot. If, as swinging and missing there is Diaz, he's now down to the count 0-2 with 2 outs. And the 0-2 pitch. Tapped here right over down the third base line. It will roll foul. Count holds it 0-2. Diaz actually ran with his bat. Not normal to see a guy run with his bat. Normally they drop it even if they think it's a tap along the way, but he made it all the way halfway down to first with the bat still in his hand. Here comes another tapper down the third base line. It'll continue to go foul. And we'll hold it 0-2 again for Diaz. Fending off a couple of pitches, staying alive. Diaz getting his third at-bat of the day. Pitch. Diaz taps this one. It's sky high. Just barely leaving the infield. Coming over will be Justin Wiley. And he is retired. So it's an F9 there. We'll now head to the top of the 9th inning. Mariners trailing 14-1. They go in order here again. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Mariners Baseball right here on the Mariners Media Network. I'll be right back. So the rumors about us stopping in the 7th inning are not true. We will be heading to the top of the 8th. Mariners trailing 14-1. As of right now, there does look like there's a storm moving its way. If you look out to where the direction of which the wind is coming, it is completely gray out there. The wind continues to blow from that direction, possibly a storm on the way. Umpire wanted to get a look at that. Our GM and Kevin McGowan went and showed him it. They said play on. So 14-1 here in the top half of the 8th, going on 2 hours of play now. Get a couple of explosive innings, but other than that, it's been a rather quick game. But the Mariners are trailing 14-1. Calhoun steps in. He'll be going up against John Privatera to start this one off. And now, here comes the first base coach for the Locos, sprinting across the diamond to get into his spot. Calhoun versus Privatera. First pitch. It'll be swung on and missed by Privatera, and now the count goes 0-1. Calhoun delivers the 0-1 pitch. Swung and tapped to the backstop. Count goes quickly 0-2 to Privatera. Tell you what, both sides might just get really aggressive with the bats here. Now 14-1 game. And now we're calling time. And now here comes, the umpires are going to talk. So we're calling time here. It's an 0-2 count. Might have seen lightning in the area. I didn't see any, but now we're going to have a conversation between the two umpires. Again, only a 2-man crew for the Summer League everywhere we go, except for the championship. It's a 3-man crew. Here comes the conversation. And now Nico's having a conversation with Privatera for some reason about something. And we're going to step aside. All the players are leaving the field. There is lightning in the area, we're being told. So I'll step aside. Again, it's 14-1 the score right now. You're listening to Mariners Baseball live on the Mariners Media Network. Don't go anywhere. I'll get you an update when there's one available to me. I'll be right back. Got you your weather update that I promised you. Hello, Donovan Mann, the voice of the Mariners. It is a game. We are closing the books on this one. In 7 innings, the Mariners lose 14-1 to the Locos. They had a conversation about it. I think it's just best for everybody that we go into the All-Star break now. 14-1, the score was just holding there. And so I just think it was best for everybody that they called it. Lightning in the area, we don't know when or next one will be. Umpires and the coaches had a conversation. They said game over. And so going into the All-Star break, the Mariners have dropped 4 straight. They get swept by both the Copperheads and now the Locos. Final score in this one will be 14-1. Your player of the game will be R.J. Williams. He was 2 for 2 with a couple of singles and a stolen base for the Mariners here today. And that is all she wrote for this one. Mariners dropped this one 14-1 in 7 innings. This has been a production of the Mariners Media Network. I would like to thank you all for listening. I'm Donovan Mann, your voice of the Mariners, saying have a great day and go Mariners. I'll see you after the All-Star break when the Leprechauns come to town.